Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear students. Thank you very much for joining me today's session on behalf of Institute of Freelancing. I welcome you all. I'm pretty sure that there must have been so many students. Some of them are actually some of them are actually waiting in the list, and some of them must have been joined us in the session. So let me share my screen and let's start our today's session. But before I start, let me take up this thing something a bit closer to me, and let me share my screen. Uh, okay, so that's the one, right? All right, so this one. Okay, G. All right, so let's get started our today's session. First and foremost, the importance of this live session. This is our most probably third or fourth consecutive session which is going on, and we have trained so much around more than 100 students so far. More than 100 students, that is for sure. And there were so many. They were from United States and from around the world. Let me not figure out any one specific. And Alhamdulillah, we have reached to this stage that there were so many who were asking questions about the freelancing career and how to start up with different websites and what are those websites. And for example, there's a website like Fiverr or the Upwork, and what are the ins and outs of all those websites, and from where we get started. That was the main aim of this whole thing. So the things we have actually planned out that in between these holidays, what we do is that we come up with one session that would be a live session in which we will be replying to all of your question queries. I have a huge long list of questions which are actually right now with me, and in today's session, I'll be sharing all those kind of observations. And is if there any question which comes into your mind, you can ask me in between this during this whole session in the chat box, and I'll be addressing all those sort of all those kind of questions जो कुछ आप पूछना चाहते हैं. So let's get started our today's session, dear students. Before I start, I would like to share you a kind of motivational story, which is a very primary thing to get started, because this motivation is the most important thing in our freelancing world, and people used to contact us, and the main problem which they face is the kind of motivation that doesn't gains up. So it's a story of a man who was actually born in on 4 December 1982 in Melbourne, Australia, and unfortunately, at the time of his birth, his mother has a tetraamelia syndrome problem, and before his birth, his parent came to know that he is without his limbs. He do not have his both the arms as well as the legs. So when he born, there was a quite a bit confusion in the family that either what should be doing, because it seems very odd that this kind of kid inside the family, because all others जो kids थे, they were actually in the normal state में थे, but this one guy was actually with us some serious problems. So they thought so many things, so many odd and things, but at the end of the day, they asked him to go to the school. And when he reached the school, that was quite obvious. Without the limbs, a person, a kid who came to the school, and it's become fun to the others. So they actually chanting him, they actually abusing him, they were actually doing so many things like this. And because of that reason, he was having no friend at all in the school. So that was quite a bit mentally, that was quite a bit disturbing for him, and due to that problem, he committed suicide first in at the age of the 10 years. 10 years is just a very basic age in our society. Is the fourth or fifth grade student, that's maximum fourth or fifth grade student, that is too much for them. So the life goes on, life without limbs. At the end, when he reached to this at the age of 17, he becomes the owner of, he created actually an NGO by the name of Life Without Limbs. and he thought that whosoever in the world is having this kind of problem, we should be having an NGO who should be addressing all those sort of things to them. And that was the first motivational things for him to get started, and because of that he reached the stage that he known in the world as an entrepreneur and a motivational speaker. He traveled around more than 40 countries at the age of 19, and he had multiple interviews with different organizations, different television shows, and like YouTube channels and things like this. And he became a successful entrepreneur. And at the end of the day, finally life goes on, and he had a family life now with him. He is having two kids with him, and he is, by the way, is an author, a writer, a swimmer, a footballer. Even he can sail the boats as well. I think there's plenty of things he do. He do sky diving also. He do boating also, and there are so many things. And by the way, he's owner of two more companies and four more. First NGO was at the age of 17, and now he is owning four, in total four NGOs. So, dear student, this is the man by the name of Nick Vujicic. So he is from Australia, and the purpose of this story is कि अगर आपको अल्लाह ताला ने basic limbs with the power of eyes and ears and the basics जो आपकी चीज़ें हैं, sensing abilities, वो सारी भी दी हुई हैं, and with the hands and all those legs and all those sort of things, so why not we, हम क्यों नहीं वो सारा कुछ अचीव कर सकते जो निक ने सबको अचीव करके दिखाया. He became one of the most expensive motivational speaker in the world, and that was his aim. That इस तरह का जो problem है, that will never stop him at any time. So, dear student, these kind of motivational stories in our life, and ये इसलिए हैं कि हम लोग इनसे सीखें. अल्लाह ताला ने अगर आपको ये सलाहियत दी है, तो rest assured you can also become a successful entrepreneur. And the first and foremost step to become a successful entrepreneur is to become a freelancer first, because the earning is the most important thing. You have to sell yourself, sell your services to the international world, and that's how your profile will grow, and people would know you, that who you are, and that's how you can become a successful entrepreneur. Dear students, my name is Hameed, and I'm basically a freelance entrepreneur and technology consultant. And here are my contact number and details, email address, my website address, and this is my YouTube channel address. You can just search me on YouTube by the name of Hameed, hashtag Hameed. And my past starts from year 2002 and 3 when I graduated, and there was actually a friend of me who told me this story, that online work starts, and online there's a prospects for all of those who knows something how to do, and then you can earn quite a bit handsome money. At the same time, the idea is that you can learn a lot of things. And by the way, I did my graduation in computer sciences, and then the post graduation in computer sciences, and then the project management professionals from it's kind of certifications and things like this. And this story starts in 2003. Off and on, I was trying, but every time I was failing. Every time I was failing, and at the end of the day, I thought probably it won't be possible for me, and things would get drastically change when you actually leaving this whole thing to the others and things like this. So I roll back to the basics, and I started up from the basics things, that what went wrong when I started up, when I consulted to the different experts, and they told me what are the basics things which you need to do before you get started to this. And I get back in 2004, maybe in 2005, early 2005, and then it was kind of no one stopping. And Alhamdulillah, the day before yesterday, I received a call from HP America. Ben was actually their regional representative. He called me for their project, and that is the kind of limit you can achieve, and that is the benefits of becoming a successful freelancer. and becoming a successful entrepreneur. This is something which teach you. So we are not actually, that's not the aim of this whole story. We move forward. What exactly is the freelancing, and why I'm intent, or why I'm interested you to become a freelancer? Because first and foremost is the introduction. Introduction is very simple. A freelancer or the freelance work is a term commonly used for the person who is self-employed. Who is self-employed means I'm not at all working for any specific one company from 9 to 5. This is my own choice to work even at the mid of the night, even in the early morning, or even at the mid of the day. At any time, I'm interested to work with my client, so that is my choice and my field of interest. That should I be doing, and that is actually what the freelancing is all about. So, dear students, there were so many questions which came into my mind, but the basic question which usually asks, why freelancing? And as I was telling you earlier, that this is something, this is the field which actually gives you that kind of leverage, that a company from United States and the Fortune 500 companies, HP, Hewlett Packard, that is the company which actually call you and they sent you an email and they ask you to present your portfolio to our regional chief that is sitting in the India. And let's see, if I get a chance, I'll show you that what exactly I received from them and what I have been doing with what I, unfortunately I was unable to continue with that kind of project because, as you know, nowadays there were national holidays and things like this, and due to this COVID, I am actually sitting far away from my workstation, so I'm having a very less amount to show them that this is what my portfolio is. So this is all the advantages of freelancing. People used to ask that why we should start freelancing, at the what certain age we should be starting freelancing, and things like this. And there's another very important question people used to ask, that who can become a freelancer, and the answer of this is a student starting from career. My youngest kid, he is about 11 years old right now, and he is keenly interested that he can do it, provided giving me the opportunity. But I'm just asking you to hold on for a minute, because you have to have a right time to become a successful into this business. So it's better that you should be focusing much towards your basic studies first, and the sky is the limits. Up, Jesse, I say, when you feel that this is the best time for you to become a freelancer, starting from school age till at the age of 70 or 80, maybe, till the time you feel that you are comfortable while sitting in front of the computer, in front of the camera, and you can translate your knowledge and whatever you have learned in the whole world, and that's the experience which you can translate to the youngsters community. That is something which you can very easily translate, and this is something which you can very easily do, and that is the age in which you can become a successful freelancer. There's another very important question people used to ask, that do you actually make any money? And rest assured, the answer for this question is 100%. This is legitimate, this is legal, around the world this is legal, and no one, no government, no company, no one is asking you or stopping you to doing this kind of work, right? So this is total 100% legal, and you receive the money whatever based on the government laws and rules and regulations. You must have to follow that, of course. And the government policies are actually defines that what is the best in which you can, the method which you can receive the money from international clients. So it varies from different countries to countries, but in Pakistan, yes, of course, we can do this. What it likes to not have a boss. That is the best thing ever. As I have served with different companies, I was on job, I was doing different kind of from the portfolio designation wise, I was doing so many things. But at the end of the day, when I become uh, entrepreneur and freelancer, so I was my own boss, right? So this actually gives you a lot of freedom to think, as well as to think out of the box, rather I must say, think out of the box. And you have, being your own boss, you have to strategize everything. not only your accounting system, at the same time the administration, the working hours, and the flexibility of the working hours is quite obvious. But of course, the commitment with your clients, and as I have committed this time with you, so I'll have to be there. That is something which usually you actually do not possess while doing job. So this is something which usually actually teaches you. Okay, freelancing in Pakistan, that is the most important topic. People used to ask me that, do you think it's really possible that in a environment where we are sitting right now, can we become a successful freelancer? So, dear students and dear listeners, the answer for this your question is 100%. This is the time frame in which we are right now. Due to COVID, businesses are actually shrinking. Financially are shrinking, so the businesses are shrinking. So in such a case, institutions as well as the businesses, they are actually everyone is actually coordinating, and they're asking their employees to work from home. And this is all what freelancing tells us. This is absolutely what the freelancing is all about. This is whatever the best which you can do while staying at home, feel comfortable at your home, and in a whatever the working environment in which you are right now, that is the best thing which you can do, and that is the best which suits to a Pakistani community. Okay, Ji. Let's get move to the next step. The outcome of this session would be that you can strategize. Either you can become a consultant. Yes, of course, you can become a consultant. You can become an entrepreneur, designer, writer, artist, and there are so many advantages. Other than this, you have the advantages could be something like you can travel around the world. This is something you might not have to apply for the leaves that I'm moving to America or I'm moving to the European countries. So either it is summer vacations or the winter vacations. But if you're moving from Pakistan to anywhere in the world, this business is moving alongside with you, right? So this is the flexible business. This is freelancing is more flexible, and it actually tells you to work from anywhere in the world. Secondly, you can relax at your own time. Then you can work from anywhere you face. So, and specifically for the females, this is something which is quite obvious. And over and above, with all those kind of environments, the best thing is that you're earning in US dollars, and no comparison to this, right? So there's another comparison which is very important for you to understand before we proceed to the question answer session, and that is there are two categories, males and females. They were actually becoming successful freelancers. They are actually applying for the different jobs. And based on Payoneer's research, they came up earlier, the males are actually earning around $20 an hour, and the females are actually earning around average $16 an hour. So that is something which is quite obvious. And there's a list of categories which is available right now in the IT programming, designing, multimedia, legals, engineering, manufacturing, finance, sales, writing, translation, admin, and customer support. And there's a long list. And it's such a huge list that if I give you a complete list, probably this one good lecture would be a complete lump sum of all those, only the list and explaining those lists. So I just thought to give you a kind of again a motivational lecture. So let's move to the last option, and that is the administrative and the customer support. And let's make something out of it. Let's suppose a male is earning around $12 an hour and females are earning around $10 an hour. Let's make an average of this, and that comes to $11 an hour. If that is the case, and if you work at US dollars 11 per hour while staying at home, and if you work just 1 hour per day, that comes to 25 days a month, and eventually $2,275 per month, and which comes to around 44 to 45,000 rupees a month, which is quite handsome, which is, believe you me, working from home, staying home, doing just 1 hour. Wallah, there's no other business, there's no other thing, other job actually gives you that kind of leverage. So let's move to the global freelance economy, and then we proceed to our next topics. Global freelance economy told us that the main freelancing projects and the economic cycle that actually starts from the United States and the North America, that's Canada, and then 45% of that, then 35% of the complete, combining all around 48 countries of European communities, complete combining your 35%, and then of course the even Russia and China combining all together, India, Pakistan, and all those combining all together, just 10%, around 40 countries. So 5% is from the Australia, and then of course the 3% is from the South America, and just 2% from the Africa. So let's move one step ahead, and that is the 45% means that now we are discussing about the global freelance, US freelance economy in numbers. And in recent survey 2016, which actually came up, and in the total population of the United States, that is 325 million, out of 325 million, 36% of the total US population were actually the freelancers. And that is actually contributing to the total economy of $1 trillion. And I was just thinking that, by the way, in Pakistan, how much does in Pak rupees that comes to this much big figure? You can just take a screenshot and you and calculate at the end of the session that in total in Pak rupees how much huge amount that is. And believe you me, in 2021 tag, this 36% would reach to 50%, and think of it how much bigger opportunity is available there for us being a freelancer, because and not only for the freelancers but all of those who are actually trying to become entrepreneur and technical into this world, they can get benefit out of it, and that is the best time you can start. So where do we stand in the freelancing world? That is very very important before we move to the next slides. And total population of United States, as you know, just told you earlier, 57 million freelancers are just from the United States and the North America region, combining all together United States and the Canada. And then of course is 15 million freelancers are from United UK, United Kingdom, and then uske baad the Brazil is just 15, says there's a jump of 0.5 million, and then of course Ukraine is zero point 0.4 million, and then the Pakistan is again zero point 0.4 million, and we are aiming for कि अगर 0.4 million को हम just we cross to Brazil, and this is something we can very easily we can do this, and that's how we can become a successful freelancer. And the idea would be that कि Pakistan community को, Pakistani youngsters को, who are actually in thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands graduating every day, sorry, every year. They are coming from the universities, and there were no jobs. There are no jobs at all to actually serve them. So in such a case, moreover, this COVID state has made it more difficult for all of you to go for the jobs and find and search the jobs. So the only opportunity left, and the best ever opportunity left, is to become a freelancer. Okay, so where we can start, that is the most important thing. Yet another, that's a very important question rather, that where to start. And dear students, I must say, and please note it down somewhere, that first deserve and then desire. This is the total absolute formula to become a successful freelancer. Other than that is the join online communities and groups. Online communities and group means you can just go to the freelancing startup, just a Facebook group hai. By the way, when I take this screen capture, at that time 40,000 total group members there, and today we have reached to 45,000. We have crossed actually 45,000 freelancing members, and they are from around the world. They are not just from Pakistan, they are from around the world. And you can just join this community. Just go to this Facebook and search Freelancing Startup. You find out that there's a group, and I'm the admin of it. And you can become a part of this group. And the idea behind this whole group creation is that in 2014, people used to ask me that you're doing so many online freelancing jobs, and in parallel to the other work. There were so many things which are actually going on. So why not you teach to the others? So I came up with this option. No, it's no way possible that I should be replying to thousands and thousands and thousands students for their queries. It's best that I should be coming up with a group, and that group would serve the purpose. Whatever the question you post, there are so many 45,000 members. They are actually out of so many moderators. They can reply you, and that's how you can get the benefit out of these online communities. Then the next is the Pakistani freelancers community. You can just join. That's a Facebook page, by the way, and Pakistani freelancers community. And then on behalf of Institute of Freelancing, this is something when is actually this whole session of today. We are presenting this on behalf of Institute of Freelancing. You just go there and search Institute of Freelancing on YouTube as well as on Facebook. You will find, and you can just get the subscription, and you will get the maximum benefit out of it. Other than that is, of course, the YouTube channel. As I told you earlier, there's an Institute of Freelancing, and you can just go to this YouTube channel. You can find out different trainings there. Okay, so the next is, after joining online communities, the best ever thing is once for all solution is the branding concept. You came up with your brands. That is the most important thing, and one stop solution for every individual freelancer and entrepreneur, that you start your own brands, and let's make it through to the to 5, 10 years down the lane, and I assure you that you become successful in that business will automatically become a successful thing, right? So right skill set is the most important thing to get started. And what right skill sets, which are those right skill sets? That right skill sets are actually the web programming, as you know, the mobile programming, the graphic design, web design, and there's a long list. It is all depend upon your choice. As I came to the first question, which were actually from this, that which skill set suits me. And by the way, this question is actually not asked by one individual. I have noted down these questions for multiple times. People used to ask this question, that what exactly is the right skill set? If you can please help me out in choosing the right skill sets, and I would request you to please guide me in choosing the right skills. No way possible. No way possible that I might be able to read your mind in the first instance. No way. The first is something which you have to choose out of these total lines, and there is a long list which I'm going to share you right now, and out of which you have to choose first that which one actually suits you, and then it is the responsibility of the institute of freelancing, that this will guide you, that this specific course actually helps you a lot to become a successful freelancer if you do this sort of things and things like this, right? So this is a very important thing. And in the same context, I was telling to every my student that this whole thing starts from the language first, because in the international community, people used to communicate in the English language. Either you are writing, you are reading, you are whatever the things that you're doing. The most important thing is the language you must have to understand. And this context, we are actually launched English language course that includes the comprehension, tenses, grammar, vocabulary, and at the end of this whole thing, the business language and the communication. And that is the main thing which we intend, and we are actually nowadays offering on the regular basis. This actually one course is on the regular basis for individuals and for the freelancers, that they should, if they want to become a successful freelancer, you must have to be the perfect in at least this language problem. Okay, so let's move one step ahead, choose the right skill sets. Now, there's another long list of questions people used to ask, that please give us some more details, that which one is the best designer and creative. Maximum out of this, the questions which I received are actually from this one category, from the design and creative category. They used to ask me that if you could come up with some basic introductory sessions of all these sessions, to understand what are those softwares which are actually easily available in the market, and we can just go to the sites, and if you want to learn initially the basic, that how to start with the 2D animations and how to start with the 3D animations, and how do these 3D designers and artists, how do they start work, and just give us the basic things. So that's my commitment to all of my students, provided I have sufficient time. And that is something on the regular basis, almost every Sunday, I'll be live and I'll be explaining you each and every topic on this. And this 1 hour session would be exclusive for all those YouTube followers and Facebook followers. This session would be available to all of you, and I'll be explaining each and every process. For example, there are so many students, they do not understand what's the difference between the illustrators and the Photoshop. The basic conceptual difference, what are they, and which one softwares which suits us to start, and which one should be starting on first. Animations are built for what purposes, and what are those softwares or the basic softwares on behalf of by doing this kind of certifications and trainings. What is the best prospects we have to while we go into the freelancing websites, and we can get the projects. And for sure, that's something I'll be doing on a regular basis. And for sure, by the way, I'm personally speaking, I'm not a programmer. I've done many programming, I have programming skills, I do web development as well, but I still believe that I'm not a professional programmer. So this is something for which I'll be bringing some experts who are actually from programming and the development sites, and they will be sharing their experiences, and not only experiences, but they'll be teaching to you also, whosoever is interested in uh, programming at the developer sites. Admin and sports specialist is one main topic. I used to tell every my average student that Philippines and is a one country in the world, in the freelancing world. The whole world knows that the best ever virtual assistant, they are the Philippines. They are best in listening. They are best in noting it down, that what exactly your boss is saying. So these kind of administrative support specialists. And by the way, this category is, dear students, for all of those who are purely 100% non-technical. Yes, absolutely. Whosoever is totally illiterate in at least any specific one software, this one topic, this one domain, admin and sports specialist, is absolutely and perfectly suitable for all those. For this specific purpose, I'll be coming again and again, and I'll be explaining that what does this mean: administrative support assistant, appointment setters, and BPO call center agents, and calendar management assistant, and chat support agents, and things like this. Correct? And there are some more categories like writers and translators for this specific one. This would probably the first or the second. Just I'll come up and I'll be explaining this whole, because there are so many queries from the students, and usually mainly from the female sides. They are actually interested in becoming writers and translators, and if you could help them out, so for sure I'll come up with this option in detail again. Finance professional, there's no need to tell. Absolutely correct, that is something which you can very easily do. And the sales and marketing experts is, of course, is very important. Okay, so now choose the right path. That is the most important thing. What exactly is the path you have to choose? Now we have reached to that stage. Just ke mutalik, people used to ask me that what is the difference between Upwork, the freelancer, and the Fiverr. So we have, dear students, after it, after so much preamble and this whole combining story, we have reached to that stage. People used to ask that which one suits us. Either we should be going for the Upwork, we should be going for the freelancer, or we should be going for the Fiverr. Okay, so to tell you the basic concept, the first and foremost, Fiverr is for all of those who are actually believe that they are not absolutely perfect so far in any computer technology or in any specific one software. It is as simple as that. If you believe you are absolutely genius, absolutely perfect in web development, you it's better you need to join Upwork first. And then if you didn't get any success in the Upwork, you move from Upwork, that is number one. You move to the second, number two, and that is Freelancer, and then move to either number three, that is Fiverr, or there's a long list. For example, Outsource Rehab Staff Guru, and I just do not want to mention any specific names of those websites or those agencies who are actually offering around more than 100. By the way, they are actually in the list, and I've just around 12 or the maximum 12 I have placed up here, but there are more than 100. You can just go and join them, and you never know, from which side the project which actually comes and flowing, and that would be the best time you can start. But recommendation for me is to start with the Upwork. That is number one. And without wasting any time, I'll be explaining some basic concepts on the or regarding the Upworks, and then of course on the Freelancer, and then of course the Fiverr. If you are a student, let me give you some hacks. If you are a student, the best, because there are so many question queries which games actually 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16, around 20. Around 20, there these all were students. They have actually students asked me that which website suits us to start the workflow, and the best answer for them is the Fiverr. Okay, because Fiverr believe in small projects, small things, $5 projects, $5 things. So it's better that you should start with the smaller things first, because that you conclude that project very easily in a very less time, and the best would be that that will boost you, that will give you confidence that you can do this very easily. And at the same time, the advantage would be that you being a student, you can keep on focusing on your studies. That's the main concept, because whatever the investment you have in terms of the time, is in terms of the finances you have posted in your studies, that's the best thing and the foremost thing. You must have to do it in the first instance. But if you are done with your studies, it's better that you should start seriously thinking on the upward side. Okay, there are one around same around almost 20 females. They're actually sitting at home. They are housewives, or because of any issues, if they are doing nothing, they are at home. The best websites that again suits them is the Fiverr, because they can start with the $5 to $10 job a day, and that is something which you can very easily do, and that would not at all be a problem. And that is the first thing which you must have to be doing. And as soon as you feel now you are free from your home and the basic things, and now it's the best time that you can start main focusing on the freelancing site as a business. That's the best time you can start the Upwork, and that is something which goes on. And I just do not want to give you a couple of examples here, because there are so many examples, by the way, actually here. And by the way, there is another. Usman is one of my young entrepreneur from Comsets, University of Comsets. He also actually asked me this kind of question, and there are so many students. They are from university sites, and you can contact in this case or you can contact Fiverr. Actually, you just go and approach the Fiverr and create an account. And if you feel any difficulty, that is something would be our next session, and in which we'll be explaining each and every process, that how can you start, how can you create an account, and how can you create some gigs, what exactly would be the best thing you have to keep in mind before creating that gigs, and things like this. Okay, and by the way, Upwork and Freelancers mainly is the 80% outsourcing freelancing market captured by these two companies. Okay, and there are 30 million plus registered users. Keep in mind, this is a huge figure, and out of which, if you become successful and if you become a part of this community, that would be a huge achievement. Being a successful or being a Pakistani freelancer. And by the way, instead of these two, the third one is the Fiverr, the most popular nowadays. and people are actually trying to create some accounts. And there are so many question queries about the freelancing on Fiverr, and queries about the Fivers and the gigs. And rest assured, that is something which I'll be addressing. Okay, no worries at all. Uh, and by the way, why I'm referring to Upwork is because this one platform has more than 12 million freelancers, 5 million employers, and post approximately 3 million jobs per year. And that's why it is very, very important. Okay, so before you start, what requires you to kick off? What is the most important thing for you to start up? Is of course a laptop, a computer, and the internet facility, and a sitting environment and the softwares. That is something total. That is what you required is. So and the most important thing, Joke, people used to ask me that how can you start building your portfolio? There are around more than 8 to 10 queries about this portfolio section that you need to address this portfolio. How can you create portfolios? Certainly, there are so many ways to create portfolios. But portfolio, by the way, contains your website, your relevant skill set, your educational certificate, previous job references, downloadable resumes, professional photos, social media contacts, and now next. Correct. I just do not want to name any specific. You can take a screenshot and all those kind of things. But the most important thing is how can you create your website? By the way, there are plenty of ways. One way is to create a free website, 100% free website. And if you have no idea how to do it, you can just go to Institute of Freelancing YouTube channel page, and you will find out there are so many methods which I told to my students that how can you start the your personal website, your portfolio website in totally 100% free. And other than that is there are very important is the social context. For example, LinkedIn. For example, portfolio ke liye I told them everyone that Behance, Behance.net is a free service. That is Behance.org, Behance.net, I think .net. I'm sorry, I just forgot the name. Like in out of which at least one would be one is for sure. So you must have to opt Behance.net portfolio create करने के लिए. You just need to put in your email address and you have to create an account, and it will automatically give you all those kind of flexibilities that from where you can upload different type of contacts. For example, if you have a web development, web design is a separate area, web development, programming is a second area, so you can segregate different type of sections, and you can post your portfolio up there exactly like the way you can do in your website. But once for all solution is you must have to have your own personal website, and that is something which shows that what exactly is the testimonial, awards, recognition, projects, your specialty. And if you ask me one specific website, by the way, my name is Hameed Asghar, HameedAsghar.com. That is something my website. You just go there and just view that. That will actually explains this whole process. That what is mean a website, how can you contact about us, and there are things like this. Correct. Okay, before we proceed further, there are so many other examples. There are so many questions which I wanted to address. One exactly is from the fashion design ki course se, how can you start your own business while from home? That is something a very, very valid and very, very important question. Let me switch from here to the basic question answer sessions and explain you that what exactly is this whole process. So, dear student, the most important thing is uh, Okay, perfect. There are so many questions here. मैं इन सबको भी address जरूर करूंगा, but before I conclude, I just want to tell you that uh, ये one question from the fashion design institution ये जिन्होंने किया, they are from one of my previous class, and they actually asked me that how can we start our own brand or from own kind of business from home. So there are so many plenty of ways. I just told them they're Pakistani made equipment as well as the Chinese made equipment that is available. and that is actually a one-stop solution for all of those who are actually interested to start their own brands, their own starting their own kind of clothing lines. For example, if you want to start, like for example, cloths, t-shirts का design, t-shirts के ऊपर printing, and if you wanted to start your caps design and caps के ऊपर printing, if you wanted to start your t-shirts के अलावा like stationery items उसके ऊपर printing, even the advertising on different type of items like pens, ball pens, even वो circular plates and things like this. इस सारी की options के लिए I just told them one option that you can just go there. And by the way, this is something I'll be sharing after the session to my WhatsApp group. Okay, ji. I'm a teacher. How can freelancing help me? Oof, Muhammad Munir. I don't know from where you are, dear Munir, but let me tell you, uh, free of cost, total free of cost is one-stop solution is to join the Google. ठीक है, गूगल क्लासेस, गूगल जैम बोर्ड एंड गूगल मीट, ये तीन चीजें अगर आप 1 2 3, गूगल क्लासेस, गूगल जैम बोर्ड एंड गूगल मीट, these are three things. If you just go with these three things, that will change your life. That will absolutely change your life, and that is my 100% assurance. You just go to my YouTube channel, गूगल एप्लीकेशंस की एक उसमें ट्रेनिंग पड़ी हुई है which is about 25 minutes की, hardly of about 25 minutes. This will explain the complete thing, that how can you start your own for example, being a teacher, being how can you become a successful in this business or in this teaching things. Oh, okay. Usama Malik, great. Thank you very much for joining, Usama, first. Sir, how get first project because we do not have any reviews and customer rating? Uh, Everyone starts from this one thing. ठीक है ना? So need not to be worried about this, that from where we can get started. ठीक है? No worries at all. The first project is of course it is difficult, लेकिन at the same time, when I started, I told you my story in 2004, maybe 2005, man. When I started again when I started again, I basically what I've done is that with the help of different experts, with the help of different जो मेरे साथ experts थे, उनसे जब help ली, they actually taught me different lessons. And the first and foremost is, first is to believe in yourself. That's the number one formula. Believe in yourself. The second thing is to complete your homework. You have to first done your homework. That is the most important thing. ठीक है ना? That is homework first. Homework means वो कौन कौन सी चीजें हैं which comes into the homework, means you have to complete your portfolio, you have to complete your website, and you have to complete your cover letter, you have to complete your website includes, by the way, everything. ठीक है ना? That includes LinkedIn also, that includes the social media contacts, for example Twitter and all those kind of things. ये सारी की सारी चीज जब आपकी कंप्लीट हो जाएंगी, देन पोर्टफोलियो के लिए, if you do not have the website, go for behance.net. That is something which is a free service available to all of you students कि आप उसको जाके join करें. You can just start up from that. Okay, so that is the first commitment. Moreover, there are so many other ways to start up as far as your first project is concerned. I'll give you the first project, no worries about this. That's the hack. Okay, so need not to be worried about this. Project will automatically flow. Need not to be worried about the projects. Project jab aayenge, you will not have the second thought, or but you might not have some extra time at that time to think about anything else. ठीक है ना? So most important thing is कि आप अपना homework पहले complete कर लो, and then उसके बाद you can continue. Okay, Ali Heather, you have the same issues, means what Osama actually it told me, that is the issues which you have. If that is the case, मैं आपको 100% guarantee देता हूँ. First, do believe in your shoulders and do believe in yourself. Whatever your field, make sure कि वो सारा कुछ translate हो जाए onto your website first. That becomes your portfolio, right? So as soon as that has been done, rest assured there'll be no one stopping you. Can we have accounts on all three? 100%. 100%. I am pretty sure that you, for three accounts, you must have to have some extra time. You must to have some extra time, because अगर you never know, once the project gets started, एक से दूसरा project, दूसरे से तीसरा project आ गया, then what should we do? So there'll be no one who will be stopping you, correct? So the best thing is that you start with the first, and I can give you at least 10 more options from where you can which you can join, and you just need one project. And by the way, in my 14, 15, 16 years experience में, if you got 2 to 3 projects, that is sufficient enough for your 1 year income. 3 projects total, 100%. There are so many examples. I've done more than 100 projects, so rest assured, I can give you so many examples. But there are so many examples like this. Okay, there's another question, sir. I have few skills, so I make one portfolio, or I have to make separate portfolio. For two different type of portfolios, the best thing is that you should have your own personal website. And again, the idea is that you should go to this institutional मेरे institute of freelancing पे उसको जाएं, and just search the freelancing. एक तो गूगल फ्रीलांसिंग ऐप को सर्च करें, वो एक जस्ट 20 to 25 minutes की ट्रेनिंग को सर्च करें. दैट विल एक्सप्लेन यू द कंप्लीट प्रोसेस, दैट हाउ कैन यू क्रिएट योर पोर्टफोलियो. एंड उसके बाद there's another training, that is गूगल साइट्स. गूगल साइट्स को जाकर स्टडी करो. दैट्स अ फ्री वेबसाइट, 100% फ्री वेबसाइट. एंड ये आज के दिन का टोटल हमारा outcome होगा, that you can join that session, and you can join this training, and after getting this training you can join this Google sites, and by the end of the session you can very easily create your own portfolios, and that's how you can become a successful entrepreneur. So dear students, ये था आज का total session. I'm pretty sure there are plenty of other questions, long list, लेकिन we are running short of time as it is a prayer time. So I just want to thanks all, especially Sama Malik, for you, because you have been proactive in this case, and Jazakallah for your time, and everyone who has joined me this session. Thanks a lot. We will join again on specific question and queries about your Upwork account and your Fiverr account. इसके लिए हम दोबारा ज्वाइन करेंगे. एंड जिस तरह ये फिटनेस स्टूडियो, आई डोंट नो हु इज दिस गाय, फिटनेस स्टूडियो के नाम से ही हैज लॉग्ड इन, but it's a valid question. If you have more than 2 or 3 portfolios, if you want to create more than 2 or 3 portfolios, how can you start? And that is actually called the gigs. In our language, we used to call different type of gigs. One gig is actually specific to the PowerPoints. The other gig is very much relevant to the web development, and the third gig would be very much related to the graphic design. So that's it, dear students. Thank you very much, Kumail Heather. Jazakallah for your time. Azra, all the way from Islamabad, Rawalpindi, Mohammed Munir, Jazakallah. Thanks a lot, everyone. इतने सारे आपके messages आए हुए हैं that inshallah, Asiya Rahman, बहुत शुक्रिया. From 17th onward, 3 sessions are actually starting up. If you are interested in any of the professional course, one is the graphic design, the other one is the fashion design, the third one would be web development, and the fourth one would be the professional English language course. And professional English language course में half portion is of mine, that's the communication parts, and the remaining is from the other teacher. So you can join at any time. The advertising for all those kind of the courses, wo inshallah we'll be sharing through our channels, and as well as from Mohammed Munir, all the way from Abu Dhabi. Jazakallah. Thanks a lot, buddies. Okay, then it's pleasure talking to you, everyone. Is there any specific question from all of you, or if there anyone who wants to join me on this live channel? So I'm available for just about 3 or 4 minutes more, and then uske baad we will be winding up this whole session. I'm just waiting for any question. Yeah, you can just type in here, and I'll be explaining this whole process. जैसा कि सारे के सारे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए मैं usually that's by precedence. What I'll do is that whenever a session ends, मैं उन तमाम को एक एज एन गिफ्ट एक वेबसाइट ऑफर कर देता हूँ. सो आज का गिफ्ट फॉर ऑल दो स्टूडेंट्स जिन्होंने मुझे ज्वाइन किया उनके लिए है canva.com. Canva, CANVA. आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट ऑल ऑफ यू, canva.com पे जाएं, अपना अपना अकाउंट क्रिएट करें. दैट्स मैंने अभी ये चैट बॉक्स में, मैसेज बॉक्स में आप लोगों के लिए ये इसका वेबसाइट का एड्रेस दे दिया है. एंड आई एम प्रीटी श्योर कि एज सुन एज यू क्रिएट योर अकाउंट ऑन canva.com, आई एम प्रीटी श्योर कि आप इसकी फीडबैक मुझे यूट्यूब चैनल पे दें. यूट्यूब चैनल पे किसी यही एक्चुअली ट्रेनिंग अपलोड भी होगी फॉर ऑल दोज स्टूडेंट्स हु आर एक्चुअली इंटरेस्टेड. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स जिनका मुझे मैसेज आया कि they might not be able to join us in the live session, but after this live session, the video would be uploaded on a YouTube channel. So for channel from channel, they can join us and review this at the later stage. So this is for them also and for you also. Dear students, thank you very much for joining me today's session. It is indeed a pleasure talking to you. The aim of this whole session is to bring Pakistani as well as our community around the world who is sitting either in UAE, either there are some of the students they have joined all the way from America also. So for all those, the idea is to make them technical, to make them इतना technical बना दें so that कि they should become a successful entrepreneur as well as become a successful freelancer. And with the help of these basic tools and things, and इनकी मदद से they should start up bringing project to Pakistan as well as bringing this technology to Pakistan, so that it should be a collaborative session to all with all the Pakistani students as well as to the international community. Rest assured, in coming session, I'll be coming up with two guests. One is from United States, the other one would be from Pakistan, and let's see, as soon as मेरा उनके साथ tie up होता गया time, so I'll be sharing the time with you, and then we can join up again. Thank you very much, dear students.